Jakeem Grant's in the concussion protocol. That's the only injury that we have. Big picture, not enough points isn't going to win games. That starts with me. So, I just, you look at this and you see where we had 5 possessions inside the 21-yard line and came away with 3 points. And, it's not good enough. So I was really proud of our defense. I thought, man, to have your entire secondary out, the way they played, it was relentless. 12 possessions, 6 3-and-outs. The interception, just you felt the energy, you felt the passion, you felt the fight, and I don't know how you as a head coach can't just absolutely love that. And you know what I mean? Those guys to go out there and do that was impressive. And so I appreciate that, the way they came in and fought under the circumstances. Offensively, moving the football, but just not being good in the red zone for different reasons. And that's, whether it's penalties, whether it's, any of it. Well, again, we have to understand that you have to score in the red zone. Field goals do you no good. Missed field goals do you no good. You need touchdowns. So that's what this came down to. 9 total penalties, 5 personal fouls, 1 including myself. So that it was an emotional game. And I think that it sucks losing. But when I'm, talking to the guys and just knowing for me to understand where they're at and to see their fight, I appreciate that. So I think with that, I'll go ahead and open up the questions.
What was your conversation with Terrence Miles about, and what was it about that situation that pushed you over the edge to get the flag?
Yeah, again, I saw what happened. And, our guys are fighting their asses off to get off the field. And I saw what happened. So I explained my opinion on it. And, I don't regret it.
Matt, late third quarter where there was a 4th and 1, what were you trying to get done there, and what was the confusion from your understanding of what went astray on that play?
When I tried to challenge it?
No, the 4th and 1, it looked like it was maybe going to be a bootleg for Justin, and Darnell was in the backfield.
Yeah. No, that's just it's a play design we've had in all year long, and I got to see it on tape. It was on the opposite sideline, but they obviously covered it. So it's just they give credit to the defense.
Coach, did you have any conversation with Tevin on the sideline?
I did, yeah. What happens is when those personal fouls are going on, you can feel the emotion and the guys are fighting, and these guys are going to protect one another. They're going to fight, and there's you got to be smart. And I think after that one, I went around and talked to all the guys and just said, okay, it's time to reel it back in, right? All of us, myself included. It's time to reel it back in. So I love the fight. I love their energy. So those guys, though, when you talk to them and you explain to them, you understand that, okay, this is what's going on, and every action has a reaction. Just be smart, because what it does is it puts us in tough situations by losing yards, and again, myself included, with what I did. So we had to reel it back in. But this is an emotional game, and it'd be one thing if the team came out and just said, you know what, we're 4 and we got 4 wins on the year. We're 4-9, and we're at a point where we're just going to check out, and our guys don't do that, and that's why you get emotional. That's why you care, is because they put a lot of time and energy to come out here and play, and I just like that about them.
Do you think your own unsportsmanlike comments on a little bit you just mentioned, do you think that affected your players' behavior in any way and maybe incited more of that in them? And is that emotion, can it be unhelpful in certain ways in the game?
No, our guys know. They know I'm a fiery, emotional guy. I wear my emotions on my sleeve, and but there's also, you got to be smart with when you do things. And there comes a point too when again, when you're in that situation and your guys are fighting like heck to get off the field. Those guys, our players are grown men. They understand how to get a penalty or not get a penalty, and they're playing hard.
And sometimes the lack of protection that Justin has received on some of those hits throughout the season. Do you understand why one of your players would want to go have it back right away? And then do you have any problem with maybe some of the other players that then went after Tevin for doing that.
Well, they're trying to. There's a balance. There's emotion. So you got to understand. Okay, yeah, you want to protect your quarterback, right? But how do you protect them? That's what I talked to Tevin about when he came to the sideline. And then there's the other guys back there just saying, okay, now it's the part with the team, the penalty, and how that goes. So we all have to make sure that we're understanding what can happen, the consequences to getting a penalty. And so that's something that all these guys, again, it's raw emotion when you're down there. You got to be smart. I understand that, but they're fighting. And so I thought some of that said, for our defense to be able to still give us a chance and stop them on offense and give us positions to get down there and get touchdowns. We just didn't do it on offense.
Usually you got to pick Jefferson or Cook.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of tough to stop them both.
Yeah.
How in the world did you pull that off?
I know. A lot of credit to Sean Desai, that defensive coaching staff, and the players. Those young kids that came out there coming into this game, you could feel it from the beginning. They weren't overwhelmed by anything. And just like you said, Brad, Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson are two of the better players at their position in this league right now. And Kirk Cousins, I have a ton of respect for, and I think he's a hell of a quarterback. And so for our defense to come out and get the amount of 3-and-outs that we got, man, that's impressive. And that's what probably is what's frustrating, is that you come into this game and you're depleted in the secondary, and you figure, okay, yeah, we'll see what happens with them trying to throw the ball on you and do different things. And then we can go and score points on offense. But if you were to ask at the beginning of the game if that's going to happen and you're going to have a great chance to win, I would say yeah. But when you don't score in the red zone, and we had turnovers and penalties, that hurts you. That hurts you to win. And so that's the part of complementary football. When you're a good football team, you play complementary football. You don't get penalties. You don't turn the ball over. You get turnovers, right? Situationally, you're good. And then you score in the red zone.
In the last 24, 48 hours, did you have an expectation that you might have some guys test back in, be available tonight? Was it close?
No, not necessarily. I mean, again, there's the different rules that they have and the different numbers they have, and you can test in and get back and all this. There's a lot going on there. So I just kind of sat back and listened to Andre and Ryan informing me on that.
Justin lost another fumble tonight on the scramble. As you try to continue to coach him down the stretch here, what is your message there? I think it's 5 losses now on the season.
Yeah, kid did a good job of trying to make contact and get the ball out. Justin, he understands ball security. He's smart with that, and he's going to continue to learn. He is a weapon at times with being able to use him in the zone run game, which that play was. He was reading the end and he pulled it. Then those guys are going to come for the football, and so we just got to be smart. He's the first guy that knows it. He knew it when he's coming off the sideline, and so he, again. There's going to be highs and lows throughout it, but that's a part of that. And you just have to balance how much you do that.
There were a couple instances as well where he held the football, took a sack for a big loss when it maybe should have come out. But where are you in terms of getting him to speed up that clock? And
probably the same thing as I'd say to any rookie quarterback is that's probably one that he's going to look at and say, darn, I should have just at worst case throw the ball away. And you can't go into a game like this with this defense they have on third down, and you cannot be in 3rd and 7 plus. And we were in 3rd and 7 more than that. 3rd and 7 plus a lot, and it's hard. So if that's the case, you got to be better there. We do, and stay away from that. And then when you get down there in the red zone, you got to score.
Matt, this is a repeat conversation we're having about the defense playing well enough for you guys to win a lot the last 3 years. To be an offensive-minded coach and have that asset of the great defense here, what's your self-evaluation for having the?
Yeah, no, I mean it's when you get to a point of where you're at right now, you want to be able to to score more points, and again, it's complementary football, and we're not doing that right now. And like you said, the last couple of years, it's been different reasons that we. Grow and get better and try to grow and get better. And it starts with me and it ends with me, So I accept complete responsibility for that. And I think that's important to understand. And I, you learn a lot through this process.
Matt, did you call plays tonight?
I did, yeah.
How do you keep Justin motivated in games like this, and what kind of things are you looking for as positive signs of his progression?
Well, number one, Justin always stays positive. As hard as it can be sometimes to want to stay positive in these moments, I think he is learning through these times that him personally, the plays where he can get better, but the plays he does well too. This is going to be something for him, not just right now. Like it feels, he's had these games he's starting and playing, but this is going to be something that's going to continue with him next year and the year after. And then when he gets to that third and fourth year, that's when you're going to really start. It's going to be like, okay, this game's super slow, but it takes a little bit of time. So he understands that. He knows that. And every rookie in this sport wants it to happen overnight, and it takes time. So Justin's built the right way, and he's going to be really, really good.